in Zug originally, but we moved to Zurich. And the reason we did that is if you want to extend the internet, then you really need to have a not-for-profit working on it. The internet wouldn't be the internet if it was created and run by Microsoft, for example. So Switzerland provided a neutral location and the organizational structure that we needed to do that. And then over time, it developed. So, initially most of our people were in California. Now actually most of our people are in Zurich. And the reason is often not known to many, but Zurich is a new tech hub. And actually Google's second biggest campus outside Mountain View is in Zurich. You've got IBM Research just outside. OpenAI's just landed, Meta's there, and so on. And ETH Zurich is an incredible university that's spinning out 10 to 15 startups a month. So, and they're particularly strong in areas like distributed computing and cryptography. So, actually, Zurich's been a great place for us to hire and build out the workforce. And we have like an 8-story building in downtown Zurich, and that's our headquarters. But we're actually expanding in California too. So we're sort of in one foot in America, one foot in Switzerland.
Thanks, Dom. You should know Dom has, I think, more than 200 people working in Zurich. Huh?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
more than half the workforce.
Yeah. So I think it's the foundation with the most substance in Switzerland. So no one else, not Ethereum, not Solana, not Cardano, anyone else has so many people working out of Switzerland. Yeah?
I think a lot of crypto projects are remote first. We actually value having people in the office, and we also have a lot of I think 75% plus of our technical staff educated to PhD level or above, and we like having them in the office because you get creative serendipity, a better culture, better work ethic, and stuff like that. But it works for us.
Perfect. So now, Kimball, tell us a bit about the Green DAO. What is your drive behind that, please?
So, for those who've been following Big Green DAO, well, actually, let me get a show of hands. Who knows what Big Green DAO is? All right, we have a good amount of folks. So I've just been absolutely fascinated with the Web3 world, this concept of decentralized, autonomous organizations, trying to think about governance in a different way. And so what we did in 2021 was we created the first philanthropic DAO, which is a DAO that you have to give money to someone in order for them to join. So a donor obviously can provide funds, and we have a wonderful community of donors. They come in, and what we work on is growing food in America. So we help nonprofits with their skills, we provide them funding, we build this incredible community of nonprofits, and they all work towards helping Americans grow food, because growing food changes their lives. It gets them access to food that they can grow, it improves their nutrition security, it gets them outside, their mental health improves, they get out into nature, it opens their eyes to the weather volatility created by climate change. Growing food changes people's lives. And we had been doing it prior to that from what, I'll be quite honest, was an ivory tower. I live in beautiful Boulder, Colorado. We were providing funding to schools around the country. We had 65 people working. We were building 100 school gardens a year, beautiful outdoor classrooms, really a beautiful product, don't get me wrong. But when we decided to change the thinking and adopt Web3's philosophy of decentralized autonomous organizations, I said to myself, how could we take this incredible philosophy and apply it to philanthropy in a way that no one could abuse it? As there were always bad actors. And so I had wonderful people help me. Brittany is here, she helped. Many, maybe other, I can see quite very well, many of you might have been helping us form it. So we created on the Ethereum blockchain. Anyone who donates gets a vote. And we found 6 nonprofits to start it off. They have the keys, and they're the committee. They receive $50,000 each, and then they're in service to figure out who else should receive funding in growing food in America. And they grew that to 16 members of the DAO. And the voting power is also profoundly interesting. Instead of a vote, one vote counts one, we learned about this concept of quadratic voting. And the way it works is when you go from 6 votes to six members to 16, it's very easy for you to think to yourself as a member, oh, I'm going to pick my friend who's very good at growing food. I'm just going to support them, and that'll be my vote. But with quadratic voting, actually what happens is you get 100 seeds, and you make a vote for a nonprofit that you care about. But the seed counts as one. But if you put a second seed in, it counts as 1/10. And if you put a third seed in, it counts 1/100th, and so forth. And as a result, you have to lobby and get to know the other members of the DAO to get them to vote, put a seed in to the nonprofit that you care about. And so what it results is this quadratic voting. Of course, it results in good outcomes for who should receive funding. But the superpower is the community that starts to form. Because now everyone has to get to know each other to say, I have this nonprofit that I think could really do good things in Atlanta or in Miami or in Seattle. I need to get to know the other members of the DAO, so they would put a seed in and they will support this nonprofit. And as a result, this community has now grown. We grew from 16 then to 35 to 60 to 80. We got to a place where we're like, are we done? Is there no more nonprofits to support? And we learned that the grassroots nonprofits started to hear about us. And if you're a grassroots nonprofit, you might be earning $45,000 a year. You're working in your community. These are the people where if we can make a donation of $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, it is life-changing for this nonprofit to change, for their impact that they can make. And so we as the word spread, we have grown now to 175 nonprofits. We have 200 nonprofits trying to be included in the DAO. And the quadratic voting is done over 2 weeks. So you can put your vote in, you can talk to everyone, get people to vote for your nonprofit. But if you don't win it, you can change your vote. So it's all transparent. And this is another philosophy of blockchain, is the transparency. The trust that you get when you work with nonprofits that are so used to just being talked down to, just here's some money, go do your thing. And now we say to them, you're going to get money, but now you're also going to get giving power. And this is how it all works. And it is in code. It is right there for people to see it. It is profound how much it changes their psychological mindset to now be part of the giving ecosystem as well as receiving. Once you join the DAO, you cannot receive funds. So it's only about in service. So once you receive funds, you could go away. You don't have to be part of it. But what we've learned is they actually want to be in service. They want to help us find other nonprofits. They want to help us improve impact. And now we raised our first $10 million. At Davos, we're kicking off our next $10 million fundraise. We are so excited to bring more funding to this DAO. The donors, of course, get a vote. Every nonprofit that participates gets a vote. And we are able to leverage the wisdom of the front line. So if we're working in Chicago and someone is in our DAO, we have other members in Chicago, and they hold each other accountable, they help each other out. So we also have an accountability system now that keeps everyone working together. We've learned to bring them together once a year in person. So the more active you are in the DAO, you get your travel expenses paid, or you might get a hotel paid for. And the less active you are, you might just choose to pay for and come in. We have 175 nonprofit members, but we actually had 200 people come to the previous event in October. It's our third event, because some nonprofits want to come just to be part of the community. It's so powerful. They learn skills, finance skills, accounting skills, how to tell your story. And of course, if you haven't received funding, you could also become a recipient. But the in-person gathering, the community that has been created, I just want you guys to know what Web3 has created for us at Big Green and for our community of nonprofits. It's just been a profound psychological awakening to how philanthropy could work. And it has just been so beautiful. So please give you guys all a hand. I know it's been a tough year and a tough few years, and it is now, we're back. And it's just great. Going through this tough time and now coming out of it, we've stuck to our principles, and it's working beautifully.
That's amazing. Congratulations. And I'm excited because we're just extending our group of company, and we now took 50 million of investments in food and agriculture on. So I believe everything around food security, food chain, and so on is a super important thing, not only in the US. We are also in the Middle East, and when you look into Dubai, how do you secure the food chain over there? That's even a bigger problem than in the US. Now coming back to what you said earlier today, it's a little bit difficult to explain a farmer how MetaMask works.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I read on LinkedIn about you. And I think Dom and his team has a solution to make this much easier. So Dom, your internet computer or now world computer vision, I think that's much more than only a blockchain. Probably you can explain how you can help to scale that up, basically.
Well, I mean, firstly, the system's working, and Kimball's just described an incredibly ingenious voting mechanism for building community that I'd not seen before, and congrats on that. The biggest DAOs in the world today, or at least the biggest, runs on the internet computer. It's the network nervous system. And in fact, the entire network runs under the control of this DAO. And the machinery has its protocol software upgraded by the DAO. The subnets inside the network are created by the DAO. Network parameters are tweaked by the DAO, and so on. It has a different kind of design. It's designed for very large numbers of anonymous users who stake, and I think it's north of $2 billion staked currently, and I don't know, many tens of thousands, if not more than 100,000 participants. So it has a sort of different design. It implements something called, best described as algorithmic liquid democracy. The reason it's called the network nervous system is people stake to create something called a voting neuron, and the network nervous system processes large numbers of proposals a day on different topics, and if you don't want to be evaluating them all yourself and manually voting, you can configure your neuron to follow other neurons on different topics and create quorums and so on. And that's worked very well in production. So for the last 3 years, it's never really missed a beat. It's completely permissionless. So in principle, somebody could submit a proposal that would install software on these node machines that would sort of self-destruct the network. But such is the design of the governance, it never adopts stupid proposals. One of the aspects of the internet computer that makes this possible is that it's very efficient and can run compute at scale. Actually, the network nervous system is quite compute intensive. I think the question you asked related to user experience. So traditional crypto involves wallets that are typically browser extensions or apps. And every single transaction is manually configured. So for example, if I'm going to vote in Kimball's DAO, I'll go to MetaMask and I'll craft a transaction, including a gas fee, which pays for the computation, and submit it. And that's been the prevailing way of doing things for many years in crypto. The internet computer really re-architected blockchain in a number of ways to achieve, or in pursuit of world computer aims. And one of the changes was something called reverse gas. So on the one hand, network code, which is an evolution of smart contracts on the internet computer, processes HTTP. So it can directly serve user experiences into browsers. And on the other, it uses a system of reverse gas. And in the reverse gas paradigm, the software pays for its own computation. So you can think of units of software as being like electric cars. You charge an electric car up, fill its battery with electricity, it drives around and depletes it. And then if you don't charge it up again, it stops working. So software on the internet computer works the same way. You charge it up with something called cycles, which is the equivalent of gas on Ethereum, and it burns through that as it performs computations. And eventually, if it runs out, it'll stop, but you can send it some more and it'll start working again. But the combination of these two things, smart contracts processing HTTP, so that users can directly interact with them through browsers, and reverse gas means that you can create sort of seamless user experiences without conventional wallets. And
I think that is so great. Trying to teach a wonderful Native American nonprofit leader about that is so good at working with schools, so good at working with their kids and teaching their kids how to grow food, to figure out MetaMask is it's exhausting, and thank you for helping solve the user experience, because it is such a great technology, it's such a great architecture. When the user experience is improved, it will unlock so much potential.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And we also typically use something called internet identity. It's actually a little known fact, like passkeys are all the rage now on the internet, but the first production passkey system was actually internet identity back in May 21. And what that allows people to do is just authenticate with a fingerprint or Face ID or a PIN or whatever else they want to use. And it's much more secure than passwords, but also convenient too. So it does change the paradigm, and you can create a wallet, but it's really on the network, and you interact with it through a browser.
And Face ID. I mean,
absolutely.
Oh my God,
yeah.
It's so obvious. We should do that.
Totally, yeah. That's what it does. Yeah, and it gets rid of all the friction, the user friction that we traditionally associate with crypto.
I think it's work that you're doing when we talk about DAOs. Obviously, in this room, probably everyone is pretty sophisticated. Most people are not. They want to get on with their life. They go to the dentist. They drop their kids off at school. They obviously love the technology that they use on the web or elsewhere on their phone. They want to be able to access this kind of technology. So what you're talking about is exactly the kind of thing that is needed in the space.
Yeah, the other one is cost, actually. So, I mean, if you're working with big donors, they don't mind paying $20 to post a transaction, but they might mind the waste of time involved with like crafting the transaction in the wallet. But you know, if you want small donors to contribute, and there are a lot of potential small donors in the world for something like this, you really need like the underlying network to run incredibly efficiently, so that they don't have to pay anything to contribute. The other one worth mentioning is multi-chain capabilities. So the internet computer supports something called chain key, and chain key allows the internet computer to create transactions and accounts on traditional blockchains without having a private key. The reason it's called chain key is the blockchain itself acts as the key. And that means you can create a DAO that can receive, for example, donations in any cryptocurrency without it going through a bridge. Again, fully trustless. You can just say to someone, Solana, for example, here's an address, send your Solana here. But in actual fact, that address is controlled by the logic running on the internet computer via some clever mathematics in the network. So again, you get rid of yet more friction, because bridges are cumbersome and difficult to use. And
I mean, anytime you provide friction, or there is friction, you could have someone with the best intentions, and they just run out of time in the day, or they just get frustrated. And how much that unlocks to just people being able to do, this feels good, I want to donate to something, and you could just do it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, before I pivoted full-time into crypto in 2013, my previous venture was an MMO game for kids. And actually, I think all entrepreneurs should create a game at least once, because it's such a competitive field. You have to absolutely obsess on funnels and removing friction from the funnels. And I think that was one of the driving forces in the re-architecting of the internet computer. Let's create a network where the mechanics of transactions and things like that are completely hidden from the user, and they don't have to waste any time. They can just authenticate with their face or something like that.
You should be thinking about every time they leave, like when you're creating a game, every step that you create is an opportunity for them to leave.
Absolutely.
And so but for some reason we don't apply it to many of the other things we do in life. And so to hear that you're applying it to Web3, it's exactly the solution. Everyone should be thinking along this way. Remove the steps, because every step is an opportunity for someone to walk away.
Yeah, and it's actually almost exponential. Like every additional step, like you're losing twice the number you did on the previous step. It's incredible. And the games industry is very good at this because it's so competitive and you track every kind of bit of data imaginable. And so, yeah, that was one of the driving forces in the re-architecting the blockchain that we sort of began in 2015. Yeah.
That's great.
I would like to move the topic on to what you said before. You want to raise another 10 million. For which type of investors are you looking at? I know there are some people with money in the room. Probably we can help you on that. What are you looking for, and how can we support that, basically?
Well, Big Green DAO takes donations in any coin. We are governed by the IRS, so it's obviously a tax deduction if you're in the United States. We're governed by the IRS in other ways to prevent any fraud. We have to monitor the DAO carefully. But anyone who wants to make a donation, please, this is the time to be part of something that is just wonderful. And it's such a beautiful example of what Web3 technology can do to make the world a better place. You can go to biggreen.org. You can talk to me or Courtney in this room. We have a white paper that takes you through everything and how this all works. And I think if you choose to support Big Green DAO, it will be one of the best, most impactful donations you could make.
Great, great. Probably one more topic, also leading to the next speakers later on. Did you already think what AI could do to your project?
So this is so great about the DAO. So like I said, we work with nonprofit leaders that are busy with doing their garden work, teaching work, working with kids. And when you teach them about Web3, it opens their mind to so many things. We start teaching them about quadratic voting, it opens their minds. We teach them about Discord. We're onboarding so many of these wonderful humans, but they're busy not necessarily working in most advanced tech. So the next part we're playing now is how do we introduce AI to our corpus of to our DAO. And so now with AI, we are able to upload all of our curriculum, and we have a database. We're 15 years now of creating curriculum for schools, first grade, second grade, third grade, fifth grade, all the way up to high school entrepreneur classes. We're able to upload all of that into Grok, OpenAI, all of the systems. And now a nonprofit worker can simply ask the question, tomorrow is Thursday, and it is January 20-something. What are they teaching tomorrow? What is the class that I could give the teacher? And what's the weather like tomorrow? Oh, the weather's going to be cloudy. Okay, this is a better lesson for cloudy. The weather's going to be sunny. Oh, it's a cold day. And the AI is able to become this companion for our community of nonprofits by us uploading all of our content into the large language model. Now, of course, that's very valuable to them, but it also teaches them that AI is now a tool that they can use for all the other purposes.
Yeah, look, why did I ask this question? I think no one else than the internet computer integrates AI and Web3 or the blockchain better at the moment, what I have seen, yeah. So, Dom, your opinion, what are you doing right now in that area?
I don't want to go too wild, but since the World Computer Day was yesterday and a lot of people are talking about the self-writing internet, I'll say something about it. So the self-writing internet paradigm involves people talking to AI that can be running in a centralized way on a traditional cloud or as part of the network, if you like, and they describe functionality that they want to have, and then that materializes on a URL. And this is going to really change, I think, much of tech in the next 5 to 10 years. And when you really think about it, it's kind of obvious why. Like, imagine you're an SME and you want some CRM functionality. Currently, you're paying a lot of money to a SaaS service. Every time you configure it, you have to call up your local consultant, and you never get exactly what you want, and your data might be stuck inside. In the future, that SME will just talk to the internet in a way, and seconds or a minute or so later, the functionality will materialize on a URL. And the really cool thing is that even when that functionality is used in production, they'll be able to keep talking to add new functionality, evolve and improve what they have, and it'll be sovereign. So I can see applications for that within the non-profit space, whereby they might be able to talk to get the functionality they want, and also potentially incorporate sort of modular functionality that's already been developed for the field. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, I could talk the whole evening with you. Super exciting topics. One gentleman applying this technology in the real world for food and agriculture. The other one building the baseline that this is possible on scale. Exciting times. The US is back in the game.
I am such a fan, I wear the hat.
And look, we have not been only in America the last few years. We have been a lot in the Middle East because the US was not super friendly to our industry. And
Not super friendly to us either.
and this is the reason why I want to take the opportunity to get these four gentlemen there on stage and have a picture together how we unite Europe, US, and the Middle East today. So please join us on stage. And thank you very much for the great talk.
Thanks, Rob.
So the first one I'm seeing is Majid Mufti, the CEO of the NEOM Venture Fund. Then Kamal, please come on stage. The president of the Hashgraph Association. Please join us, Omar. Omar is with Almara Ventures in Morocco. And we're talking about a technology which is now slowly ready to be adopted. And we have people here, they are coming out of countries where innovation goes first. Where new innovation systems are built, where ecosystems are built. I mean, NEOM is an outstanding example. It's exciting every time when I see what you guys are doing. And you're showcasing this here in Davos and showcasing it over there. Morocco, another bridge to Africa, exciting what you do. And no one else is connecting this better than Kamal, because he's flying with me back and forth and trying to bring adoption to that. So Kamal, thank you very much for being here. Would you do a quick announcement now, please?
Yes, please. Hi, everyone. It's a great pleasure and a great honor here to be with you today. And thank you, Ralph, for making it happen. Yes, indeed. We managed, after so many years of collaboration, exploring different venues of collaboration, not only between regional and international ecosystem partners, but also exploring interoperability options, basically collaborating with other layer 1 protocols, including ICP protocol. By the way, I'm a co-founder of Hedera Governing Council back at the time, but I'm a big fan of what the guys at ICP and Definity are doing. So it's inspired by something I learned during my studies. Have been coached by Robert Cecil Martin and Martin Fowler, two of the co-founders of Agile Manifest. And if there is something I learned from these both gentlemen, all the great solutions and applications are the result of the overlap, or let's say the convergence of different emerging technologies. And they used to teach us one term back at the time called polyglot systems or polyglot platforms. What does that mean? It means we don't have, competition is good, collaboration is better. We need to think of platforms and solutions that are implementing different aspects and elements of technologies, be it blockchain, AI, robotics, Internet of Things, and so on and so forth. And with that, we will enable the vision of Web3, which is the convergence of all these great technologies together to build a better working world in the future. Thank you so much. Yes, maybe just to make one announcement, indeed. We are partnering with Almeda Ventures, which is the venture arm of Almeda Holding, one of the leading conglomerates in Africa, investing in Web3 projects with major focus on 3 verticals: sustainability, on-chain finance and DeFi, and last but not least is consumer engagement. But at the same time, we finally found 3 use cases where we are going to collaborate with our partners at Definity. And I believe that combination is going to be unbeatable. What does that mean? Hedera Hashgraph brings the sustainability aspect when it comes to energy consumption, when it comes to a lower carbon footprint. At the same time, we bring another aspect which is needed for institutional adoption, which is governance, combined with the great and the powerful smart contract structure that the guys at ICP managed to develop over the last few years, including powerful EI components that have been developed recently by the great team. And it's no wonder, since they are PhD students out of University of Zurich, So I'm not surprised at all. It's the same university where Albert Einstein has graduated, so very well selected them.
Great. Thank you very much. So I will say thank you to Kimball. See you later this week, and Dom, and please the other gentlemen sit down to the next discussion. Picture is already done, I think.